They needed this draft to be a home run. But I do think it is going to be a home run. So that's the only reason. Like, I've been doing this a decade. Every single year I'm writing down edge need for the Falcons. Edge need.
Think about all 5 of these draft picks and where they played and how much they played.
You can move them around, you can rush him, and I think just having that Swiss Army knife, you just have somebody that can do so much for your defense.
You see that juice, it's real juice. You see it all the time on tape.
He plays with visible effort. He's constantly running the ball. You got to be careful sometimes, but he is running to the ball. He is finishing plays.
And then you see him at Oklahoma, he's playing nickel, he's playing safety, both free and strong. Really every single play, you got to kind of find where he is, because they do so much with him.
The process of being a football player and being the best that he can be, that process is important to him.
Batted in the air, tipped around, intercepted! Billy Bowman!
Cannot escape. They've got him again. Jalen Walker.
Musket again slicing through.
Terrific block on the edge for Jack Nelson.
Throw, jump ball, sideline, intercepted.
I almost wonder, I'm going to ask you guys, 2016, we had 4 rookies start on the defense. They went to the Super Bowl, okay? And it was a defense, it was a mixed bag here and there, but 4 rookies contributed on that. You could make an argument that you got 4 guys that could come in and potentially start on this defense.
Right.
That's pretty damn good if you ask me.
Yeah.
You went out and you got impactful players, and now's the time. Now moving forward, it's like, how impactful can they be early on?
Jack Nelson, Billy Bowman Jr.,
Xavier Watts, James Perry Jr., pick 26.
Jalen Walker, pick 15.
130.
So I'm looking at the TV and I'm seeing the Falcons are on the clock. Got down to like 5 minutes, still no pick. 3 minutes, still no pick. 2 minutes, I'm like, okay, it's crazy. And then of course, I see my phone buzzing and I'm like, oh my God. Games from Georgia, I'm like, okay. Pick the phone up.
Jalen, Eric, what's going on? Where you at, man? Man, I'm at the crib. I'm in Salisbury, man. You're in Salisbury? Well, you know the good news. Arthur doesn't even have to send a plane for you, man. Hey, man, send it.
Like, I'm still in disbelief that I'm just sitting here right now. Like, I'm so honored and blessed to be in this position.
I think you get one of the most complete players and individuals probably that you'll ever meet. The guy was such a leader at the University of Georgia. When he spoke, everybody listened, including the quarterback.
Throughout my years there, they refined me on my mental game. You doing all these positions takes a lot of focus and mental fortitude, and of course, being at Georgia is pretty hard, just being there in general. But, you know, the mental fortitude of playing these multiple positions, they sharpen me every year.
2nd and 25, back to Blue, and they're all over him. That was
Jalen Walker, the Butkus Award winner, as the best linebacker in the country.
Every time I walk in the Mercedes-Benz, there's something in the air. Like, it's so special playing in that stadium. It's I don't know. Like, I've had my best games in the Benz, and I can't wait to increase that and have even better games at that point. But the environment I get from the crowd and just being on the field is like unlike any other. So.
I started playing super early. Yeah, I fell in love with it right away.
It's official.
It's official. But anytime on third downs, it gets some real, I don't know, dang near get superpowers, like everything on your side. You know when somebody's finna move, everything is just loud in there, everything's out. Movement and feel and gut, and I like to rush the passer, so.
Trading back to get James Pierce Jr. in the first round, who many believed was maybe one of the most athletically gifted pass rushers in this class.
Gun, play fake, back to throw. Pierce is trying to get there, and he got there. Milroe gets dumped, and he lost.
First of all, as far as I was concerned, he's probably the best. I would say he's the best edge rusher of this draft.
He is explosive. His first 3 steps as a rusher, he goes. He covers ground and he goes, and he is relaxed.
Hey, man. Yes, sir. It took a little longer than expected. Yeah. The same deal applies, man. Get your ass up here and get ready to play, all right? Let's do it, coach.
I feel like that fueled my fire a lot to be able to come here and play for this organization, and the moves they made to be able to put me on this team. That means a lot to me.
And then adding these 2 players to help contribute to that gets me even more excited. It's just, now it's just like it's time to get to work.
Get these young rooks on the grass. Got about 41 people here, guys. Obviously, our 5 draft picks. You know, the guys that we signed undrafted free agency, and then a couple tryout guys that we got out here in tryouts as well. So, pretty excited to get these guys out there and let them move around a little bit. You know, for you guys to know the expectations of it all is really just to get the guys acclimated to how we do things.
You know, it's kind of a fresh slate, so definitely a little anxious to get it going, see what it's like. You know, just kind of get that new experience and, you know, kind of really get my feet underneath me. I'm really excited.
All right. Yep.
So there it is. Sweet. That helped out a lot. So where your helmet is right now, you are right here, precision. Okay? At any point you want to upgrade. You want to go higher? We'll upgrade you anytime on Saturday. It's on your schedule. So.
Like I said, it's all rookies, but at the same time, it's, you know, you have the coaches coaching you now, you'll have the NFL system, so kind of just getting my feet wet a little bit with how to, you know, be an NFL safety now.
Too loose? Yep, too loose. I think it's too loose right here. I don't know.
Yeah, put some bigger jaw pads in.
Yep.
Okay, we'll get those.
Okay.
He's a great dude. I put you with JD also.
Okay, man.
JD talking you up.
Yeah. JD's my guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude. We're fired up to have him.
Yeah, I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. It's a really chill and not a lot to do in Omaha, but it's a good place to raise a family. I grew up as the only child. You do have that strong bond with your parents. So with my mom and dad, you know, always around them. I didn't have any siblings, so sometimes I'd hang out with them, watch TV shows, watch movies, you know, play some games with my dad, even like card games with my mom. So just, you know, having that bond with them was really special, you know, really close. I played all the sports. I played baseball, I played football, I played basketball, but I was just really good at football compared to the other sports, and, you know, I just really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun playing it.
Oh, now you got that one. No!
I was always good at football as a young age, and I played a lot of different positions. And then continue to just work at it and, you know, try to get to the next level with it. Obviously, when I got to high school, I just, you know, continued to do that.
That motivation coming after a breakout sophomore season, where the Bulldog receiver pulled in 35 catches for more than 800 yards and scored 9 touchdowns.
Some of those intangibles, I feel like just tracking the ball, you gotta have good ball skills, and I was able to, you know, complement my skill set with both sides, offensively and defensively.
I think I worked pretty hard, and I think a lot of receivers don't go up and get the ball. That's one of my big things I like to do. When the ball's in the air, I like to go up and get it.
My first 2-3 years, I was just playing football because I liked it. And then obviously once you start getting offers, you're like, all right, this is something special and I could make it something special. So once I got my first offer, I was like, all right, it's time to really get serious. Getting that first offer and just my entire recruitment period is just so grateful and blessed to have the opportunity to get recruited by different schools. Top 3 schools I had, it was Nebraska, Michigan, and Notre Dame. Just those 3 schools are all, you know, good options. Obviously, I'm from Nebraska, so hometown kid, but didn't want to stay home. Michigan's a good school as well, but it just didn't fit right for me, and then Notre Dame was just the perfect school for me. I got the best of both worlds. Education is important to me and my family, so obviously I have a really good education up there, and then the football is football. Like, I mean, there's a great opportunity and I can pass it up.
This is a guy who came to Notre Dame as a wide receiver. He then moved to kind of this like rover linebacker for a little bit, moved back to receiver.
I love where you're going with this.
And then moved and then found a niche at safety going into his senior season.
They kind of see me as a ball player, and I could, fit anywhere where needed. Obviously, I was okay with it. I wanted to help out the team because some guys had gone down, and then at the same time, I was like, I wanted to get on the field, so I bounced all around and kind of settled in. 2023 was my first year starting, so really just, fully settling in with that position and, gaining the confidence and, understanding how to play safety and what it takes.
The snap, Klubnik still fielded it, and there's an interception off the ricochet. Xavier Woods.
Leonard had time, and he threw an interception. Former receiver shows he's still got hands.
That LSU is targeting Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly.
Notre Dame made it official. Marcus Freeman is the new head coach.
I came here for a reason, and I'm going to finish what I started. I didn't want to leave, one, because like I said, education was important to me, so I wanted to finish and get my degree. I felt like I had the confidence to make things work out. Notre Dame's a really good school. It's one of the biggest schools, a big stage, so I didn't want to leave that.
The All-American Xavier Watts.
It's an interception. It's Watts again. And Xavier Watts. Picked off
By Xavier Watts from the 17-yard line. That one's intercepted. Picked off by Xavier Watts.
Along with Travis Hunter, the only two unanimous first-team All-Americans each of the last 2 years.
The draft process is really, really long. You put in a lot of hard work, and then that weekend or so, a couple days, you're kind of just like, all right, everything's out of my hand, out of my control, so kind of just waiting to see what happens. So it's a little bit of not really like care, but like me, I'm really laid back and relaxed. So like I'm just chilling, being cool and steady the whole weekend. And then at the same time, it's a little bit of anxiousness and you're a little bit nervous to figure out where you're gonna go and if you're gonna get drafted. So a little bit of all those emotions.
Let's do it.
We got a trade. The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 96th pick to the Atlanta Falcons.
Hello.
And with the 96th pick in the 2025 draft.
Atlanta Falcon right here. Okay, we're on the clock. All right, good with that? Yes, sir. Appreciate it, cuz. Thank you.
The Atlanta Falcons select Xavier Watts, DB, Notre Dame.
They're making it known that they intentionally wanted me and make sure they pick me. So I mean, it's just an awesome feeling to know that they actually want me and see good things in me as a player and a person as well.
Today we'll have a little bit on the grass, a little bit of individual, a little bit of 7-on-7, a little bit of group things. Getting these guys out there and just try to watch these guys move around a little bit.
All right, here we go, nice and easy. Push step on the 5-yard line, front foot up. You're just gonna, just push a step, nice, easy pedal. I don't even care about your opening. I just want to see if you can back pedal. Go. There you go, next guy up. Everybody together, let's go to the ball, let's go.
These dudes have played a ton of football in major college football, and it speaks volumes about where they are now. And they're going to come in with experience. They're going to come in humble, but I think all these guys will fit the mold really well and find their niche within this team.
Hey, that was a great job, but as soon as you see him come up around, you can get outside of him because the number 3 went outside of you also. So, hey, don't be afraid to jump it. So remember, the faster you make a decision, the better it is for the coach.
Growing up in Texas, you're gonna know quickly, who sticks out and who doesn't.
Billy Bowman, who climbed the ladder in a big way.
I didn't really know what I was gonna do, but I always knew that wherever I landed at, I could still be me and still play football. I started playing football at the age of 4, and since then I've always played up. And I played running back, receiver, DB, whether I was safety, nickel, wildcat quarterback, whatever it was, I played it. My dad is like my best friend, and he coached me all the way since I started playing football till I left high school. The recruiting process started after my freshman year. Going through high school and being recruited both sides of the ball, I got my first offer at receiver my freshman year of high school. And then after my sophomore year, everything just blew up. I committed to Texas my sophomore year, after my sophomore year, but I just felt like nothing got bigger than Texas. If you're from Texas, you stay in Texas, and those things of that nature. And so afterwards, the staff at the time had left, and so I ended up leaving and opening it back up, just curious of, what else is out there for me. Maybe it's a different route I need to take. And so I opened my recruiting process back up, ended up signing with Oklahoma.
Don't know that I've seen a more dynamic athlete in the country this year than Billy, and a guy that does as many things well as any high school player I've seen in a long time. And I don't have the first clue where he's going to play for us, but it's going to be somewhere.
Yeah, so as a freshman, first day I walked in, I sat in Lincoln Riley's office. I sat in the office with him in the DC, and they had 2 options. One, you can play receiver behind Marvin Mims, or we have an open nickel position that's, it's not open, but you can go try out. And so, I believed in myself, and I was like, well, I want to go do that. I want to get on the field as fast as possible. So I went ahead and did that, and then had spring ball. So I chose defense, chose the nickel position. Wasn't a starter until, fall camp came around, earned that spot, and, now I'm a 4-year starter.
Dante Wright can't get the edge. Another TFL, that's Billy Bowman.
After my freshman year, when our head coach Lincoln Riley up and left and took his staff to USC, I didn't really know what I was going to do.
Bruce Feldman and Pete Thamel both reporting at this hour on Sunday night. At long last, Brent Venables and Oklahoma have finalized a deal. Brent Venables, longtime Clemson defensive coordinator, will become Oklahoma's new head coach. I was like, okay, I'll see what Coach Venables is about. He came from Clemson. Obviously, Clemson at the time had been to multiple national championships within 5 years. So I was gonna check what he had out, and it was the best decision I ever made.
They're going to quickly get it in the bubble to Simmons, and Simmons is wrestled down at the 24-yard line. Our impact players are...
It was a day and night difference for me. It was a defensive-minded head coach who doesn't only bring the defensive tactics to the game, but he brings that, demeanor, to the whole entire team. It's just, it's a difference between offense and defense.
Deep shot over the middle. It sails high and over the head of Moss, incomplete at the 30 for his season long of 46 yards, and they fake it. Kroger pressured and lobs it incomplete. Guy Kroger. That ball was thrown, but it's decoy. Ball came out. It's scooped up by Oklahoma. Billy Bowman's going to take it to the house, and the Sooners bounce back in front.
I had my family sitting right next to me, as in my mom, my dad, and my sister, and my fiance. It was truly amazing to be able to be there with those people, my biggest supporters, people who've been there from the start.
Billy Bowman Jr., what's going on? You ready to be a Falcon, man? Hey, I ain't never been more ready. Hey, y'all made the right choice, I guarantee that.
I don't think anyone thought that Bowman was going to be there at 118.
When I got off the phone and hung up, I just kind of took a moment to myself.
The video of Jeff Ulbrich, not in the war room, but the room next door, banging on the wall when this pick came through because he was so excited.
You see him? He's like, can I come in? Did you hear me pound the wall back there?
When was the last time that a team drafted 2 guys and you say 24 career interceptions.
Yeah, having Xavier Watts come in with me is really amazing. I mean, it's 2 ball hawks, 2 playmakers, 2 smart football players who can probably get on the same page easily.
When you look at those guys' college careers and you mix them with the NFL guys, if they can bring their college careers to us here in Atlanta, we're going to be really good.
Bowman's got 11 interceptions. You mentioned Watts at 13 interceptions. And they're not just picking it off. Bowman had 3 interception returns for touchdowns in 23. Watts has had a couple interception returns for touchdowns. But they're coming in, they're going to lay it on the line to go compete.
Communicate. Hey, represent yourself, represent our style. Be you. Hey, represent yourself, represent our style. Be you.
If these players have the opportunity to be starters very early on, they're not going to be 100% all the time. No player is. But I feel really good about where they could be.
Madison and Badger football dominated our life. My dad played there, so me and my younger brothers, we were always going up there for spring practice, spring games, that kind of stuff. As soon as they offered me, I think it was like 3 days later, I committed and really never looked back. Some schools tried to flip me, never really gave them the time of day. I was going to Wisconsin from day one.
Wisconsin has been one of those pillars when it comes to offensive linemen.
But the coaches talked to him and he returned.
My dad was really my hero. I mean, when he told me he played NFL football and, you can make money playing football, ever since then, that's what I wanted to do. He would mentor me, because, he coached me all the way up into 8th grade. My dad was a real intense guy, demanded a lot, but, looking back on it, I'm fortunate that that was the way it was, because, that's made me who I am today. The draft process was pretty tough for me, actually. Definitely not the way I envisioned it. And, I strained my hamstring right before I was going to fly out to Alabama for the Senior Bowl. And so, I ended up not going, rehabbing that, and then I tweaked it again, so I wasn't able to run at the combine. It was definitely really frustrating. But, looking back on it, it gave me the opportunity to come here and, do what I love, and that's playing football. So everything turned out all right.
Jack Nelson, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. We're excited. We're on the clock here, and we're going to make you a Falcon. You good with that?
I'm good with that. Appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, man. No, we're excited, man. Everything you're about, smart, tough, competitive, versatile, all those things, man. We're excited to get you in the building, okay? Awesome.
Yeah, it's Atlanta. I mean, it's really huge. It's a great landing spot in the draft. Everyone was telling me that right from the moment. Found out it was Atlanta, and doing my own kind of research, it was kind of best case scenario. I mean, a great group, some older guys, some veterans that I can really learn from, and kind of just pick their brains and be a sponge and absorb everything I can from a couple of tackles and an offensive line room that really knows what they're doing.
He started 13 games at right guard. He started 37 games at left tackle. That tells you he has the versatility. Played right side in the interior, played left side, and we know that really difficult position to play at left tackle. He's a big dude that looks like he can transition inside or outside.
This year specifically was such a big, a deep draft when it comes to what they felt like were draftable players, but more players than there were draft slots. True. Right? So these are players that we may end up talking a lot more as we get into camp, because somebody's going to end up jumping off the page.
You don't know how much they're going to contribute, but you got a feeling that they got a very good chance, if they remain healthy and able to go through the process and pick it all up, that they'll have a chance to make the team.
Next guy up. There, go. Don't put the weight on your butt. I don't want to see no weight on your butt, Kobe. Just on your front foot, push and step. Okay, nice and easy. Kobe, put that inside foot up. Kobe, the ball's in here. You want to be out there. Yeah, there you go. Now you're in good shape. There, go.
Crazy stat is that 11% of the starters in the National Football League are undrafted free agents.
Okay, I'm running, you moving. Move. Now get ready to turn. See, what you're doing is you take it 2 steps and they close all your cushion. You don't want to have to cover a go route and you turn it 2 yards. That's hard in this league. So as much as your cushion is so much better.
giving them some ground rules that they can have, that they can lean on, so they know what it is to respect the vet. You know, like they're going to be competing against them, but there's still some things in this league that are a very respectful process. And that's just like I enjoy teaching those guys that. I've been around it long enough, and I've been fortunate enough to be around it. And I've seen some of the ups and downs, some of the woes that you have as a rookie, and there's some of the pitfalls that you could possibly avoid, that you can get ahead of it.
There's something validating in that. And it's also not just validating, but it's, I think, the human experience, not to get philosophical on this, but the human experience of like people change and people grow, and who people are in their first year in the league when they're drinking water out of a fire hydrant and they're rookies and they never stop and it's just all the time, nonstop, is not who they're going to be down the road. And they're going to grow and change and evolve, and give them the chance to. Give them the chance to get better. Give them the chance to make their mistakes and grow from those.
Think about Leonard Floyd. Almost the same guy. They get a guy that now is going to be able to watch one of the really good pass rushers in the league over the last 5 seasons in Leonard Floyd, and kind of tutor under him.
Well, and the best thing about it is they got a dude back there that wears the number 3 that they all can just lean on.
Yeah.
You just turn on the tape and watch what number 3 has done in his career, and you say, you know what, this fits perfectly for the guys that we have to be able to replicate what this guy does on a daily basis.
2 seconds left. Jesse Bates comes up with the interception. A.J. Terrell. At the 6-yard line, he read it all the way.
You talk about Caleb McGarry and Jake Matthews, 2 guys who have played tons of football, and you're going to have a guy come in here and sit and play.
You can expect mistakes as a coach, right? But you try to give them all the avenues and all the tools that you possibly can, that they should be able to make some of these corrections on their own. And when they do make those corrections, those are signs of the guys that are consistently looking to obsess football and be the greatest that they can possibly be, and that's what fires you up.